Welcome to 3D.sk, human photo reference for 3D artists and game developers. On this site you can find thousands of images, from studio photo reference to street photo reference. We also have a selection of animals on our site. We have some costumes, we have weapons, armor. We also have 3D scans of bodies and heads, clothing, animals, all the aforementioned above, and 3D maps and textures. So in this tutorial, we're going to be carrying on from the last tutorial, and I said that we're going to be having a look at how to wrap topology of one mesh onto another to save time. So if you already have a base mesh set up, you can do this to save yourself a lot of time. We'll be using this mesh that 3D.sk is using for future projects. Now have a look at it here. It's got polygroups as well. So we have the low poly and the high poly. Just make sure they're aligned and in the right place, and your export preferences are correct as well. So I've already exported them, so we can go straight onto r3ds. Just save the high poly as high and the low poly as low, and you should be able to find them if you just name them correctly. So moving on to r3d or r3ds, they keep changing the name. We're going to wrap the low poly onto the high poly. So the first step is to get a low and a high. So if you go to load geometry, you load your high into one of these and your low into one of these using this file name, load them in. I'm going to delete that because I've got my low in here and I've got my high in here, as you can see. Turn the wireframe off the high and on the low. Then we want to go to geometry, image, selection, select point pairs. And we're going to route the low to the left and the high to the right. Then we're going to put the low onto wrapping on the left and the high on the right again. So this is going to wrap. You can find this in alignment wrapping. And then we're going to go select point pairs and go to the yellow. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go to our select point pairs. We're going to go to Visual Editor and Sync Views. Now when we rotate one, it's going to rotate the other. Okay. Now the whole point is to select a point on here. Let's say we want that point. I'm just going to Control Z. Let's say we want, I start off with the eye. So we can zoom in and the views will be synced up. So I'm going to start off right around here. And you put a point on the left and a point on the right. You can do as many points or as little as you like, but the end result will be different depending on how many you do. Mostly for the eye, I'm going to do the majority of the points. Quite important that it wraps around the same. So we're just putting the points in the same locations. Let's put this one here so it knows where to go. Put this one here. You can also put this one here so it knows where to go. Put this one here. And the program should know what to do with that now. We put enough points there. Okay, so moving on, we can put a point here. There is no symmetry, so you're going to have to do the same on either side. Start putting points for the nose. Do a little bit off, and put that there. Put this at the base of the nostril, and this one. You maybe rotate up. Put that point in there. Put that point in there. Go to the top of the lip. Actually, let's Control Z that. Let's put this a bit higher. Want this kind of here. It's going to be a little bit more squished. But that's fine. Put the corners on here maybe. Put the corners on here. Bottom of the lip. Just really depends on how many points you want and how accurate you want it. You could go around and put every single point if you wanted to, and it would be very accurate. Sometimes it can actually cause problems though, because you can't be as accurate as the program sometimes. It's all about saving time. That's the most important thing, especially if you're in production. So we're just gonna carry on putting points. Gonna go to the top of the head, maybe put a point up here. Bottom of the neck, maybe put that like down here, because his is a little bit more stretched. Go to the bottom of the ear. Put some of these points in here. You want to tell the program exactly where you want things, basically, so it has an easier time unwrapping. Try and kind of match them up as much as you can. I'm going to rotate this round a little bit. Get the inside somewhere around here. Okay, they look like they're matching up. Now we have to do the other side. Put that here. There will be problems at the end of the wrapping, and you will have to fix them, but we can try and minimize those problems as much as we can. We may also need to do this on the other ear as well. Just tell the program that we only want these going on here. Might put that one a little bit too, yep. It can be quite a tedious process, but it is not as tedious as doing retopology every time you do a model. That's the whole point. Saves a lot of time. Go on the inside of the ear. Okay, that should do for that. Maybe if we also put some at the back. Tell the program that we want these to be like this. Do you want to go onto the other side and do a similar thing of this? Okay, that should do. Now we have to do the other eye, of course. So same thing again. So you get the general gist, so I'm just going to speed up the video here. So now that I'm back, you may have seen at the end there, if you were watching the speed sculpt, that some of my numbers got mixed up and I had to go in there and fix them. Just make sure that when you're putting the number that it is the same number, or you're gonna encounter a lot of problems. Use Control and left click to delete points. So I'm just gonna do that. I'm just gonna move all the points down. Okay. That point and that point I don't like. I don't like these points at all, actually. Might just get rid of them. Okay, we can try a quick unwrap and see how it does. So let's go to wrapping and let's go to compute. So seeing how this did, it did okay. There's some little errors here and there, but I think they can be fixed pretty easily. How did the ear do? Let's just hide the high. Seems to have done okay though. Yeah, I'm quite happy with this. Okay, so what we can do now is we can create a new, save geometry, auto compute. Save it as what you want it to be. So I'm going to go into here, end model. Go to viewport 3D. Then it should have saved. Compute again. Okay. Go back into ZBrush. Let's append a sphere. Let's move over to that sphere. Go import. It hasn't actually exported for us. Compute current frame. I think that's the button we had to press. Yeah, end model. So now we have our model re-topologized inside ZBrush. So there are some errors, as you can see. Well, what we can do is we can just go in here and we can just smooth some of this stuff out. So here, for example, maybe just smooth that out a little bit. Just go down here. Maybe move that in a little bit. The mouth definitely needs some smoothing. I want to go back here. I want to turn on double. Check that everything's looking okay around there. Seems like it is. The ears are not looking too great. Yeah, the ears are looking very weird. But just giving them a little smooth should help out because we're going to project anyway. Project should sort out some of the problems that we're having. Not all of them, but some of them definitely. So let's go and move this up. Let's go to cat removal 4. That's the highest polygon we've got, which is the one we're projecting to. Just show them, turn off dynamic solo. And let's just try a project all. Yes. If I just go back and see what changed. It just changed it a little bit, but we've got our rough stuff in there. Use brush clay buildup here maybe a little bit to just bring that out. Smooth that out. Project all. Okay. Turn off dynamic solo. And we're just going to move some points around here just to help it out a little bit with what's going on. Going to do another project. Maybe go in here a little bit, see what's going on. Okay, that seems better now. You're just looking for white areas mostly. I just want to kind of smooth this out and see how it does if I smooth it. Not sure how it's going to do. Seems to have done better. I just smooth it. Give it like just a hit of the smooth. I might even turn down the intensity. Just give it a hit of the smooth on the ears sometimes can be a huge favor. Yep, like that. Now the ears are in place. Go around, smooth out the model a little bit, and just hit the project button. So I'm fairly happy with this. To see how the corners of the mouth is doing. That can be rather problematic sometimes. Let's try doing a smooth and project. This might mess things up, but we can see how it is. I actually want to turn off the poly paint just to see what's going on a bit better. Yeah, this is messing up a little bit. So we can just give it a little bit of a smooth and a project. Let's not project poly paint for now. Okay, you can see here that we're still having a few issues. I'm actually just gonna maybe move this back a little bit. Yeah, that should work a bit better. Keep projecting it until you've got your low poly in a place that you want it. I'm going to say I'm fairly happy with that. Of course, what we can do is we can create some new topology around here and kind of line it up with the actual mesh a bit better. We can definitely do that. So as much as I want to subdivide it and start projecting, there are some things that we still need to go over, which I'm going to go over in the next episode, such as we need to line up the eyes a bit better, so we make sure that all these points are on the eyelid and they're all kind of given the right thickness of the eyelid. The nose needs some work. The ears definitely need some work as well, and we need to fix up this. And that's mainly it. But we'll be going over that in the next episode. But for now, you can successfully wrap one base mesh. So spend a lot of time on your base mesh if you don't already have one. Just make sure that it's nice and tight, the topology is correct. See a little bit here that needs smoothing. It's kind of uneven. But we can go over that in the next episode. You can just see it here kind of being a bit strange. But just make sure that your mesh is because there's preference in topology and there's very important things, such as having a loop around the eye. Having loops around the eye is always very important. Some people like to make sure there's loops all around the eye. Some people like to have this kind of topology going on when you have the eyelid overlapping the bottom one, which is realistic and it looks good. There's different loops. Some people like a loop coming all the way around here like this. Some people don't like that loop. They prefer not having as many poles. Ear topology varies. It just depends on how you like it. But the main thing is, if you want it simple, loop around the mouth, loop around the eyes, loop around the nose-hibble fold, loop around the nose. And those are the main ones, from what I can think of. And then, yeah. So we're going to move on to the next episode, as I've already explained. So I'll see you then. Bye. Welcome to the end of this tutorial. Feel free to comment with feedback and suggestions below, and also comment on what you would like to see in future videos. Thanks and goodbye.